Okay guys, good morning, Saturday morning, glad to be off that job. So the first thing I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna go on and take my brush cutter down to McDonough and drop it off so they can fix it. I was gonna try to fix it myself, but with that bottom plate, being, weighing, I don't know, it's probably at least 300 pounds, and it's awkward and stuff, and it needs to be done right. And they got the stuff down there to, the tools to do it with, and they're not that expensive. I want to say, providing they don't have to buy the shaft, I want to say I'll be able to get away for, probably less than $500, I don't think it needs the drive motor or nothing. So, this was my thinking, and my thinking was that what I would do is I would just, take it apart and try to fix it. But with the part being with the bottom plate being so heavy, I don't know that I can even, I don't even know. I would have to make a rig, whatever you want to call it, to be able to pick it up in there. I'd have to use multiple jacks, and I'm very interested in to see how it looks when you take everything off, how the drive motor works and all that. Dangerous piece of equipment when it's running, right? I mean, I don't know of many more attachments for the skid steer that they even make, other than maybe, I don't know, that's any more dangerous than a freaking brush cutter, bush hog brush cutter. So you don't want to play with that. At least I don't. I know the guy came in the comments and told me I was cheap and all that. Anybody that knows me, y'all, I'm not cheap at all. I mean, I mean, if I was cheap, I would have a bunch of homeowner mowers. If I was cheap, I would have Ryobi chainsaws and weed eaters. I ain't cheap. I buy the top of the line everything. Everything I buy is top of the line, man. Because I've learned over time that you pay for what you get. I hate to say it like that, when not really, that's the truth though. You pay for what you get. Okay, y'all, so I'm over here at McDonough Equipment and Sales, and they're gonna take this thing off there, and he says that they can look at it, but he acted like he never even worked on one before. See, they act like on the phone that wasn't a big deal, and now they're acting like, yeah, I've never worked on one before. We see it like, oh shit, okay. Well, I mean, the other guy at the other place at the other told me that they do work on it. I might have to get some paperwork or something saying that I dropped it off though. I mean, I don't know, dude. What?
I mean, if you want new bearings, we'll put all new bearings on.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. I mean, how much more could that possibly be? I already got it broke down,
Yeah.
And when you look up in there, I don't want nothing to be missing or anything.
No, the nut should be on the other side of that motor.
So how does the nut stay up in there? So you saying the nut is on the top, is in here still? Okay. All right. Appreciate you, man. All right, y'all. So that whole ordeal, getting the thing ready, taking it to McDonough, going through the process of checking it in, dropping it off and all that, and then getting back home, 3.5 hours. And that's why I didn't fool with it the other day. Okay, y'all, good morning. Sunday morning. Ain't nothing going on really. I gotta meet with the owner over here at the bamboo site real quick. We're gonna go over a few things that he wants to do. Just kind of get a bead. I mean, we dumped $700 worth of gravel on this roadway right here. You see all this needs cutting bad. So you guys can see what it normally cut. We're gonna need to cut this, and then we need to cut this bank over here too. So yeah, I'm not gonna pull down through there. There ain't no reason to. But if you'll notice, there's not a lot of bamboo growing on the bank, and that's really what our concern is. We don't mind if weedy grass grows. We'll just keep it cut. But this hasn't been cut in a couple of months, probably 3 or 4 months. So and we've done a pretty good job of keeping the bamboo off of this right here. Yeah, but it needs cutting. I mean, I could probably cut this right here with a lawnmower, but I wouldn't be able to cut the bank. We need to cut this bank, the bank too, with all the saplings growing on it. So, yeah. Okay, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. It's what's today? Today's Monday, man, and we don't have a heavy week this week. And I know I'll have somebody come in there and say you ain't got enough work and all that. I am trying to wrap up this regular mowing. It's getting dragged out a little bit because, well, we've had some pretty warm weather, and you know, the leaves are not falling like they should yet. So So Zach came in, and I got him working on the HOA over here. It'll probably be about the last time we cut the big HOA. I don't know. It's the first year I've ever. This is the first year that I've ever done the HOA, so I really don't know that I've done that one. I really don't know how they do it in the wintertime. I mean, my thinking is, you know, scale it back from this point on. If I was them, I'd just do it once a month from here all the way until the next season. Well, we're running out of work. You know, there ain't no shame in the game. We're running out of work, and well, I didn't know how long Zach's going to be around. You know, he says that you know, he's supposed to be moving. You know, I don't know. That was 3 weeks ago. So a lot of times what the guys do in the off time, as far as where they living at and all that, that affects you and how you know, plan and schedule. I haven't been planning a lot because I thought Zach was going to be gone, you know, and I didn't want to set myself up, but he ain't moved yet. This week right here, and I'll just go on and say it, in the off season, my guy will probably work about 3 days, 4 days, you know, 3 days, something like that, get about $400. Now, what he does with that money, that's on him. I ain't got nothing to do with that. $400 ain't no money to live right. I ain't got nothing to do with that either. That's why when you're making $600 and $700, $800 or whatever during the summer, you need to bank some of your money, because it can't all fall on me in the fall, in the wintertime. Especially when, you know, I haven't really been chasing work like I normally would, because I don't know what my health situation is going to be like. And there's nothing more frustrating than, you know, having a lot of work and no help, or the help, you know, I'm not going to let the help handle me. So if I create a bunch of work, then I'm at the whim of the help. If I don't create a bunch of work, then they're at the whim of me. And since I'm paying them, they'll have to be at the whim of the work, and not me be at the whim of their time. Because I know when dude moves, if he's I'm sure he's got to move. I mean, I don't think he's been paying rent, so it's just a matter of time before you have to move. And once you stop paying rent somewhere, and I don't know if that's what he's doing or not, but once you stop paying rent somewhere, it creates a problem that you can't come back from unless you pay all the back rent. That would be, and it still creates a issue because people see how you can be. and then they don't want to they don't want to prolong that. So I don't know. Dude said he was moving, but that was 2 weeks ago. He ain't moved yet, so I don't know. But it's gonna happen, and as soon as I get, 10 freaking side jobs with Bobcat or Manlift or whatever, power rake, then that'll be when he moves, and then I won't have no help. And I don't, I mean, I'm good. I like to be in a spot where I can pick and choose the jobs. So the Budweiser Bo, he worked, y'all know he worked last week on that job. He made pretty good money too. So, but he didn't do nothing with the money. He broke, ain't washed no clothes or nothing. So, it's the same old with Bo. But I ain't gonna get too wrapped up into the Bo game, because the Bo game is an exhausting game. And, Bo's the kind of guy that I had rather have, like, help me around the house or something, But see, I'm not to the point now to where I'm doing stuff around the house and paying guys to help me. And I ain't there yet. Okay, y'all, so we got done over here. We ran into quite a few issues over here, really. I guess some of them would be considered my fault. Zach's machine ran out of fuel. I mean, there's fuel on the trailer, but I did not know his mower was out of fuel. So that held us back, because I had to go to the truck and get, if I hadn't been working around him, he would have had to walk all the way to the truck to get the fuel. I mean, when I get on a lawnmower, I kind of glance down at the fuel and, just to kind of see how much fuel's in it. I mean, I don't know. When the fuel light comes on, I'm definitely going to notice that. It's like sometimes the guys that come out here and work with me, they don't notice nothing. And see, it's a lot, for me to keep up with every little bitty thing, I don't know, the belts, fuel in every mower, every day, every time. I need a heads up sometimes, and to run a mower all the way out of fuel when you don't have to, when actually you got fuel on the trailer, why would you do that? It's like, and see, when you're paying somebody like I'm paying, $20 an hour, if you broke it down by the hour, if you're paying somebody that, there's a lot of things that we could avoid if they were living up to that $20 an hour pay. I don't mind paying somebody good money, but if I had to pay somebody, $20, $25 an hour, and then I still gotta, take all the lumps along the way, like running out of fuel in the machine when there's 5 gallons on the car, on the trailer. Why would you do that? That if the fuel light's on, how much you got to cut. You're not going to make it. So why? I'll tell you why. Because he didn't even notice it was running low on fuel. He didn't even notice it. It's got a fuel light, a red light that comes on. And you can still run it. Shoot, after the light comes on, you can still run it another 30 minutes or 45 minutes or so. If you don't notice the fuel when you get on the mower, which I always do, because I have to look down and turn the key and put the choke on, and by that fact, I'm seeing everything right there. See, these guys that come out here and work for you, they don't notice anything. Their judgment is freaking just off the chain, man. So then a part of this HOA, is a part that Zach usually cuts. She complained to me, I don't know, about 2 or 3 trips ago, where Zach threw a bunch of grass inside her fence over there. And this is back when the grass was still growing hardcore. And so I told Zach, I said, hey man, that lady in the red car, man, she's upset about blowing all that grass, right inside the fence. And it was clumped all up inside her fence, So I told Zach, I said, hey man, grab a blower and go over there, or I mean, grab a rake and just rake it out, right? You know, just reach under the rake and just pull it back out of the fence. Not a big deal, right? You know, but these are things that a guy that's been out here a long time ought to notice, and ought to, you know, we ought not have these type issues, you know. So today, same customer over there, they had a concrete truck out there on the road, and what they were doing, they had a Bobcat coming up to the concrete truck, and the concrete truck was dumping the concrete into the bucket of the Bobcat, and then they were pouring concrete somewhere around. It was just real narrow in there, right? So I told Zach, I said, you know, when we got here, I told Zach, I said, look, man, don't even worry about none of this area right here. You got all that you can cut. You got all that on the other side there you can cut. You got hours of work. And don't be nowhere around where this concrete truck is sitting and they're, you know, working, right? So I didn't think nothing else about it. I thought it was like common knowledge, right? Common sense. So I go over here, I'm cutting the piece that I'm supposed to be cutting. 30 minutes or so goes by, my guy pulls up to me. He says, hey man, the lady over there is complaining about me throwing dust all in her wet concrete. She said it ruined it. I'm like, what? You know, I'm thinking, and I said, dude, I thought I told you to stay away from the concrete. Well, the concrete truck was gone, you know, so I thought it was okay. And I'm like, dude. Anyway, he blew dust and stuff all in her wet concrete. It's right. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. You know, there's a reason why I told him not to. I said, don't go nowhere around where they pouring that concrete and stuff. You got all. I could almost, still maybe not, but I could almost understand it if everything else was done on the whole HOA, right? And then you come back to that, and then that happened. But you doing that when you got all this other grass to cut. You got an hour and a half of grass to cut before you even have to come back to that area. So I get a complaint from the HOA that we're blowing dust all in the wet concrete. Grass and debris all in the wet concrete. When I told the dude, don't stay away from that area, that whole freaking area. It's not a big deal. Just stay away from it. Don't make it. It's just, I mean, I don't understand that, man. I'm paying way too much money for that, I think. I shouldn't have to worry about a guy's judgment. If I tell you, and I'm paying you, and I tell you, hey, skip this whole section right here, dude. They're pouring concrete, and that's how I said they pouring concrete in here. They got Bobcat here. They got the concrete truck sitting here. You know, they got a Bobcat coming in and out of the gate. You know, just stay away from all. And they got their work truck, long trailer, holding a Bobcat, and all right there too. A lot of shit that can happen right there on the side of the road while you're running one of these big motors. Sling a rock and bust a freaking window of the truck or something. I mean, there's all kind of stuff that can happen. So just avoid it. It's that simple. You know, I didn't know that I was going to have to reiterate avoid it. I didn't know that I was going to have a complaint because my guy did not do what I told him to do. He thought this, and he said, and then my guy said something like, it ain't a big deal. He's telling me, oh, it ain't a big deal, man. It ain't that big of a deal. I said, well, I don't know. I haven't seen it. And then he said, she said it ruined her concrete. So it is a big deal. See? No, it ain't a big deal. If the customer says it's a big deal, guess what? It's a big deal. If she says it ruined her concrete because you want to take you want to blow all your freaking dust and shit in there because you don't know what the fuck you're doing, or you're not paying attention to what you're doing. Actually, oh well, man, I didn't mean to. That doesn't matter. I told you to stay away from over there. I mean, I'd rather not cut none of it we got an excuse. There's a concrete truck there. So now that's the second complaint from that one customer I done got over there. And these are avoidable things. Today, all you had to do was just do what I tell you to do. See, it's like when I tell these guys to do stuff, they tend to want to still do their own shit, do it their own way. Right? And sometimes it works out for them. Sometimes it don't. And when it don't, I'm all over it. Because I didn't just stop everything to tell you to stay away from that section. I didn't just stop just because. So then up in my head, I'm thinking, man, I need to make sure he stays away from every, work crew that's on the side of the road. I didn't know I had to say that, but I guess that's what I got to do. And then I got to make sure of that doesn't happen. So then on down the road, there's another guy that was fixing some plumbing stuff with a water meter or something out by the road. I just told my guy, just skip that, okay? This is after me and him got into it about the freaking concrete. There ain't nothing to get into. If I tell you don't cut around this area, and you do, then you're violating. And if I have to pay money, I'm going to take it out of your money. I didn't mean to, man. I don't give a damn. It doesn't matter. I told you not to do that. I told you not to cut in that area. I don't know how much plainer it can be, man. And it's we're at about $13 an hour, $12 an hour. So I got to watch every fucking thing, man. I got to know how much fuel is in every lawnmower. Out of 4 lawnmowers, I got to know how much fuel is in each and every one. I got to know how much gas is in every can. Because they ain't going to tell me nothing. I'm going to run out of gas and then tell me. When you got gas on the trailer and you're on a job that is going to require, if the light comes on, it's going to require you to put fuel in that mower before the job's done. Why let it run out? Why would you let the mower run out of fuel? Because you didn't even notice it. That's why. These guys, they don't even notice there's no fuel in the mower. Or it's running low on fuel. They don't even notice that. Well, Ray, it's your job, man. You need to make sure that you keep the damn lawnmowers full of fuel. You're right. I do. But at $20 an hour, give or take, or more, I expect a little help with some of that stuff. Let me know. And it also, I don't know, it lets me know that guys are aware of what's going on around them. These guys, the freaking side of the road could blow up and they wouldn't even freaking know it unless they got hurt. I mean, they don't notice anything. It's just so freaking just burnt out, man. And it doesn't have to be like that. It's just mowing the side of the road. If there's a bunch of work trucks somewhere, just skip that area and come back to it. My guy's sitting around waiting on them to get done so he can do that section while he's got all this other stuff to cut. To me, it's just, I don't know, dude. It's just, dumb shit, man. Avoidable dumb shit. I guess it's my fault that the mower was low on fuel. But it's my guy's fault for not letting me know that. I don't get on every mower every day to check the fuel in them. If I don't run the mower, then I don't know how much fuel's in it. And if I have to get on the mower to crank it, to check out how much fuel's in it every day, then I'm not going to want to pay my guys as much money. That's a little bit of a hassle for me. When they could just tell me how much fuel's in it, then I can kind of plan around going to the gas station or whatever. And again, this time of year, we're not in a set pace of doing everything. I guess at the end of the day, I just don't want, I don't want guys to come out here and work with me. I don't want them to think. If I tell you to do something, just do it, man. It doesn't have to be. My temperature doesn't have to go up. I don't have to get angry. I don't have to get snappy. I don't have to do anything. And it's not like I'm just barking orders. Hey man, do me a favor, skip this section right here. They're pouring concrete. Let's just skip this piece right here for now. My thinking is if we get done with everything else and we come back, we might be able to get it then. Maybe not though. I'd rather not cut the grass in that little piece than ruin concrete. So, yeah. Now the first time she complained to me. So I don't think that complaint got to the HOA. But blowing dust in the concrete did, because I got an email. I'm gonna mess around and lose this simple ass account. You know, get behind a guy that don't want to listen to me, and then want to make sure they tell me how good they are. If I'm paying you and you're not doing, and you disregard what I tell you, you're not doing good at all. Matter of fact, you're sucking. It's just dumb shit, dude. But at the end of the day, man, we got everything done. You know, this is just little hiccups in the day, unless I lose the account behind it. I mean, at the end of the day, man, it just doesn't have to be like that. It can be so sweet and easy out here. You know, it doesn't have to be stressful.